One thing people know about me that watch my videos, and believe me, they really know it now because I've been pushing it a lot lately because I've been showing my gun a lot, is that I carry a low capacity revolver. I carry my Chiappa Rhino every day. This is my self-defense gun. 6 rounds of .357 Magnum, and plus I carry 2 speed loaders for a total of 18 rounds of .357 Magnum. But a lot of people think that in this day and age, this isn't sufficient. They think I should be carrying something else. A lot of people think in this day and age where people are worried about terrorist attacks, where people come in armed to the teeth and ready to shoot many, many people, that I should be carrying something that's higher capacity, like a Glock here. But I think the notion that this Glock with its slightly higher capacity is somehow going to save my life is just kind of silly. Now, I know there's a lot of instructors out there nowadays that are selling you some goods that say, you're going to win a fight. You're going to get in a face-to-face fight with someone, and because of this training, you're going to be the more tactical and you're going to come out on top. But that is bunk. Now, most instructors don't teach you this, but there are a few, the more recent additions to the system, you know, the shady guys that like to make a quick buck, because they're preying on that. They're preying on that Rambo mentality. And, you know, these guys make a lot of money off it. They package up these little Rambo-esque wet dreams and sell them to a bunch of chubby guys on couches in trailer parks all over the country or wherever they're coming from. Or, you know, business-type executives, you know, upper-middle-class people that want to somehow seem tough even though they, you know, avoided the military like crazy their whole life. They sell these products to people. They sell this idea to people. They make a lot of money doing it, so they push it pretty hard. So it's not hard to understand why a lot of people think this. The reality is, you don't want to get into a face-to-face firefight with anybody if you can help it. That's not a good situation. It's usually an unwinnable situation, especially in a terrorist attack type of situation. I mean, this isn't the movies. You're not going to go rolling through firing with 2 hands as they miss you repeatedly with automatic weapons when there's 10 of them firing at you. This isn't Die Hard or anything like that. This is real life, and that's not a good situation. When you take military training, when you take close combat training, when you take training in the police academy, one of the things they drill into your head constantly, especially in the police academy, is example after example after example of where good officers got the drop on bad guys, shot them center of mass or shot them multiple times, and that person still managed to kill the officer. One perfect example is a guy was robbing a Krispy Kreme with a shotgun, and there was a police officer in there when he was doing it. The police officer got the drop on him, told him to drop the weapon. The guy didn't. The police officer fired 4 times, hit the guy directly in the chest 4 times. The guy still managed to rush the officer and butt stroke him in the face, knocking him to the ground, and then shot him in the back of the head with a shotgun, killing the officer, and then fled and made it over 2 blocks before he finally died from his gunshot wounds. And there are multiple examples of that. They have no shortage of examples like that. These face-to-face confrontations with someone who's better armed than you, they're just not winnable situations. I mean, I guess you could win them through fluke or luck, but when it comes to statistics, they're not a good situation to be in. So when people ask me, what's the best tactical move when a terrorist comes in and starts shooting, if you're in a mall or a business or an office building, etc., I say the best tactical movement you can make is that one where your knees go up and down as you run your happy ass to a door. Hopefully you have a path planned out of how you're going to get the hell out of there. Because the first thing I'm going to do, get me and my family to safety. That's my first priority, my family, then myself. Now there are going to be times when you may have to fight. You might be trapped, etc. Or you might be in a mall. There might be a kid's birthday party at the food court, and you're not going to stand there and let someone just mow down children. It's just not going to happen as long as you're breathing. Now don't get me wrong, I'm no sheepdog, not even close. As far as every other adult in there is concerned, I say screw them. They had every chance to be just as prepared as I am to defend themselves. Because they shirked their responsibility doesn't give me extra responsibility. My kids aren't going to grow up without a father because they were too busy sitting on the couch, eating Cheetos and watching reality television to be prepared to defend themselves. But even someone as yellow and cowardly as me can't stand by and watch children be slaughtered. We just couldn't handle that. We couldn't live with ourselves if we did. So there will be times we have to fight. We get our families out first, and then we do what we have to do. But none of us want to make our children orphans. None of us want to make our spouses widows or widowers. So we still don't want to take any unnecessary chances. So don't put yourself in a situation where you just martyr yourself for nothing. Make sure you do some things before you make a target out of yourself. Find some cover. Shoot from a safe place if possible. Shoot them in the back. Don't let them know where you're shooting from. Do things like that. Good guys shoot bad guys in the back. We got no problem with it. That's a great tactical move. If you can shoot someone in the back, especially from close range, and you can drop them and you feel confident of that, you don't say, hey, turn around and face me like a man. You plug them in the back. They're a bad guy. You take them out. When you find yourself in a bad situation and you actually have to fight with a bad guy that came there to do harm, there's 2 really good outcomes that can happen. One, you can fire on them. They don't want to be fired on. They didn't want to fight. They just run. Whether you hit them or not, they just take off at the sound of gunfire because they don't want to fight. Or the second best thing, you shoot, One shot, you drop them. One or two shots, they're dead. They never even saw you. Those are the two best outcomes. They run or you drop them before there's a fight. And a fight is the last thing you want. The more fire you exchange, the bigger target you're going to be and the less your chance of surviving is going to be. That's why I always think it kind of laughable that people think a gun like this with extra capacity is somehow going to greatly increase their chances of survival, or even by a marginal amount. This idea that you're going to somehow outgun or outlast this guy that came with an AR, maybe a couple of guys with ARs and 10 extra magazines, etc., and body armor, that you're going to somehow overpower them or meet them with greater force, it's just kind of a ridiculous idea. It's probably not going to happen. Your best bet is to fire as few rounds as possible and make those rounds count. So choose the gun that you think is an effective caliber and that you can shoot best. If you shoot a single action 1911 better, carry it, because those first few rounds are the ones you're going to want to make count. But let's face it, neither of those outcomes are very likely. It's not very likely you're going to drop someone with one or two shots from a handgun, especially from a distance, and it's not very likely that a terrorist is going to run. Sometimes not even a mass shooter, because they came there knowing they were going to die. They were going to kill as many people as they can, do what they wanted to do, fulfill their agenda, and then they knew they were probably dying while they're doing it. So they're not afraid of dying, so they're probably not going to run. It can happen, but I wouldn't count on it. Another thing people say other than bad guys will run away is that they can't shoot. Well, you can't count on that. A lot of these bad guys, especially these terrorist bent guys, they prepare for these things. They plan for these things. They train for these things. The people in San Bernardino, they went to gun ranges and practiced. They downloaded tactical videos. They were practicing. They were training on how they were going to do what they were doing. They were planning for the things they might face and the things they might have to do. They were preparing themselves to be able to fight. So a lot of times, these people are better trained than you are because this has been their singular purpose in life for quite a while, and they've been training heavily for it. So you can't count on them not being able to shoot. When they come somewhere to do damage, a mass shooter or a terrorist, they come there usually better prepared than you, better weapons, and they come prepared to die. So that's a big advantage. I mean, you were just at the mall to get some antifungal cream and some of those sheets that filter out the farts so you don't have to get a divorce. And I'm just speaking hypothetically, not from personal experience here. So, you're not there to fight. You're not there to die. They are there to fight. They are there to die, and they came better armed. You're carrying your everyday carry, the gun that doesn't hurt when you sit on it in the car. They came armed for war. So you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're fighting face to face with one or two or three well-armed people with your daily carry gun. It's kind of a death sentence. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. In a situation like this, you can't count on them running. You can't count on them not being able to shoot. You have to be a Rommel, not a Rambo. You have to be a strategist. You have to plan it out. You have to fight smart. Fire from cover. Keep moving if possible. Don't make yourself a bigger target than you have to be. Don't be seen if you can avoid it. And know what you're shooting at. If they're wearing body armor, which isn't likely, but if they are, if they're wearing body armor, if you see they're wearing a plate, don't shoot them in the chest. Shoot them in the legs. It's better to get penetration in the legs. It's better to draw blood down here than it is to put bruises up here. Penetration is a big deterrent. That's something that anyone that's ever been to Bible camp can tell you right off the bat. Being on the receiving end of penetration is not good, especially if there's blood involved. And the best thing you can do is be prepared and have options. Don't limit yourself. You never want to be somewhere and be unarmed and unfamiliar with what's going on around you and where you're at. Whenever you're anywhere, know where you are. Know how to get away. Know what the possible dangers are that you could face that day. Know how to deal with them. Have a plan. Most of all, don't limit your options by not being able to fight back. It doesn't matter whether you choose to carry one of these or carry one of these. Just be able to fight. The worst thing you can do is leave yourself without that option of being able to defend yourself. You ain't even my real dad. I carry a lower capacity gun. I carry my Chiappa Rhino every day, and that's not my Chiappa Rhino. I carry a lower capacity gun. No, that's not my fucking Chiappa. Lower capacity gun. I carry my no, buck. That's not the Chiappa. Put them on different sides so I don't fucking forget which one's which. Fuck. Can't keep my left and right straight. I've shown it several times over the past couple... Fuck, it's on the wrong goddamn side. This side first. I'd be a lot better off carrying something like this. Something like this would give me a lot better advantage. Ugh. Got a bad case of spotty Glock. Got wet bringing it in from the car. Good thing it's a Glock, or I'd have to throw it away if there's any other gun that got wet. That's how it works, right? The fuck was I saying? Said that part. Things people usually say when you're in a situation like this. And they are... What are they? What are the two fucking things? Man, I'm losing my place. Fuck. And those special sheets that fart out the filter out. God damn. Filter out farts. You kill them before they even see you. Motherfucker. Oh, damn it. Forgot to turn that off.